Friends, I am Captain Vivek Jain and I welcome you all to my fourth episode. Our subject for discussion today is investment in Indian stock market. Continuing from my previous episode, we have finally come to the avenue of understanding this form of investment. Friends, I did confidently state earlier that in my opinion, this is one of the best avenues of good investment, which can not only beat inflation effectively, but provide reasonable returns regularly and periodically, enabling us to meet several other expenses in one's lifetime. So friends, this is my presentation to you. Why invest in stock market? As I said, why did I term it as one of the best and not the best? Because the risk stamina will differ from person to person. Everyone will like to take a different form of risk. Because we have to admit that this stock market indeed is a high risk sector. And we should be well aware of the age-old cliche that profit or loss is directly proportional to risk. That means with high risk, good profit is possible. But we have to also remember that similarly, at the same time, bad loss also may come. In our discussion today, I shall highlight the virtues which is necessary for good profit and steps which will not only minimize but probably eliminate also the bad loss. For the time being, please remember that with good judgment, prudent selection of sound companies, a long-term approach, reasonable monitoring of the stocks that we purchase, and with a good amount of patience, if I may say so, this sector promises to meet our needs during the lifetime. Now, let us see globally how many people invest in stock markets. In the United States of America, around 55% of the population, they do invest. In United Kingdom, 33% of the population, they invest in stock market. In other European countries, on an average, 35% invest. In China, 10% of the population invest in the market. And what about our own country, India? The figures are quite abysmal. Less than 2.5% of the population invest. That means only around 3 crore people out of 130 crores invest in the stock market. Why? This is basically because of lack of awareness, wrong idea about this form of investment. Stock market is deemed to be a gambling den, lack of knowledge, and age-old trust in bullion, gold, silver, real estate, and to a large extent, even in bank fixed deposits. But now, all those myths are being dispelled rapidly and truthfully. Even the government is aggressively advertising for the common man to invest in mutual funds. Remember, as they advertise, mutual funds sahi hai. So now let us come back to our stock market. What is the main trading element in our stock market? We have to understand that. It is known as equity shares, stock, a scrip, whatever we may call it. Now the question arises, what is an equity share? So friends, please understand and listen carefully. I will explain that to you. Any fairly large company intending to do business in India of any nature will need capital to invest. I will broadly discuss here two types of companies: private limited and public limited. Private limited company can be called ABC Private Limited, is normally formed by two or more members, and there will be restriction in the transfer of shares. General public normally cannot be a part of it. Whereas a public limited company is where what we are interested in must have a minimum of 7 members and shares are transferable to general public. Therefore, in a public limited company, there can be many more number of shareholders. And that is what in the stock market, all the companies that we talk about that we can invest in are public limited companies. At inception of a public limited company, when it starts, when they want to invest in a business, they decide a share capital. And that share capital is equally divided amongst all the shareholders with a prefixed face value. In the earlier days, the face value used to be rupees 10. Then with splitting, it came down to 5, 2, and 1. So today we have companies mainly having face values of rupee 1 or rupee 2. Some are having rupee 5, and some companies have retained their old face value of rupees 10. So I'll give you an example in a simplified manner. Let us assume that 10 people gather and they decide to open a public limited company for a specific business. They decide to have a share capital of 10 lakh of rupees, and each of one of them, 10 people, they equally contribute 1 lakh rupees. That makes 10 lakhs, and they keep the face value of one share as 1 rupee. By keeping the face value as 1 rupee, at the inception of this company, each one of these 10 people, they get 1 lakh equal shares at 1 rupee each. That makes it 1 lakh, and then 10 people, the full share capital becomes 10 lakhs. So each one of them becomes the shareholder of 1 lakh equal shares of 1 rupee each. And that is the term equity share comes from, generally known as equity share. All of them are having a value of 1 rupee share, same value. The number of shares will describe how much of the company they own. Right now, in this simplified example, each one of them is owning 10% of the share capital. All future profits of the company that will be generated when the business starts will be shared by these equity shareholders as per their proportion of percentage of holding, which presently is 10% each. In case it changes, someone sells the share to each other or they sell to someone else, then that many shareholders, as they will be holding the number of shares, they will be that proportion of share of the company they will be entitled to. We have to understand that any of these 10 people can sell the shares to any other persons or to general public. Now, where do they go to sell these shares? And where anyone who is interested in buying will go? There has to be a certain medium where one can buy and sell these shares, a certain medium which will add liquidity to the full scenario, and that place is called stock market. The selling and buying of public limited shares are done in a stock exchange, and stock exchange through brokers. There has to be a person who will be dealing in selling and buying, and it's like a real estate brokers we have. So there are stock market brokers also. And this place where this buying and selling is done is stock market. In earlier days, this used to be a physical place where by outcry system, the shares used to be sold or bought through the brokers. Today, it is not done in that fashion. It is much simplified. easy, better. You can sit at your own home, in your own computer, in a digitalized method you can do it, because the shares have been dematerialized today, as many of you may be knowing, demat. The price of shares in a stock market, does it now stay at rupee 1, which was the face value in our simplified example, or does it change? It definitely changes. It can be set in a number of ways, and the most common way is through an auction process, where buyers and sellers place bids and offer to buy or sell. To conclude at this stage, friends, you have to understand that price of any share of a public limited company does not stay at the face value. It changes. It normally increases if the company is good and making profit. It may be less than face value if the company is not making profit and is going through a loss. But this auction process, fixing of share or reckoning of share price, is done by you and me, depending upon the company's ability to perform. And if the company earns a profit or whether it incurs a loss due to poor business or many other reasons, the share price will keep changing. And this auction process by you and me reckons the price of the stock market on any specific time or any specific day. This is what we'll have to understand in our subsequent discussions also. For the time being, this much is what you must understand. So friends, now our discussions will reveal various detailed features of the stock market. What is an equity share? What is the total capital formation of the company with equity share and some other capital which may be also brought in? How a business progresses? What is a balance sheet of a company? What is a profit and loss account? What returns on equity is given or earned by a shareholder, etc., etc. And all these parameters will be discussed in good detail with examples and in our future episodes. So please wait for my next episode. And friends, if you have learned from this discussion anything knowledgeable and useful, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can get access to the previous episodes and the forthcoming ones also. And please also put a like to this episode. Put your comments in the space provided. If there are any queries, I will try and reply to all of them. See you again soon, friends, and have a nice day.